What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe, and thank you all for being here. It is the 11th day of April, and it is Saturday. It is the weekend. I am aware that yesterday almost all my videos had a little buzzing in the background. I'm hoping that's not the case today. I'll make this whole video and then check. I should have done a sound check before, but I think I fixed it anyways, so it should be good. Anyways, hit that like button. Thank you all for being here. That annoying buzzing should be gone. 72.6K with 10 hours and 18 minutes left in the day here. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and zoom out from there. Okay, 1 hour here. First and foremost, we've been a little bit more persistent than I would have assumed that we would be, right? From here, I was assuming we'd move down and then move up. We just moved up instead, and I thought that move might cause a crash. We'd get more bearish divergence and crash down, and we didn't crash down. We actually moved up. We've been more tenacious, and in these environments, guys, it's important to pay attention to the indicators. It really, really is important to pay attention to the indicators because psychology matters whenever it comes to crypto, and there are a bunch of people who are professional traders, amateur traders, speculators of all kinds, and people who just know about these indicators and about price trends and stuff like that to some degree. And whenever you see bearish indicators but you're still moving higher, that's something to pay attention to, because the market typically does move against whatever the common thought is, right? If everybody's expecting the price to come down, well, the price is going to go up. And what's weird here, I'm actually getting ahead of the game a little bit, but let's talk about it. What's weird here is that we're actually getting negative news at the top. Right? Down here, boots are going to be on the ground. No talk of the ceasefire, none of that, right? Here, boots are going to be on the ground, and then at the top, it's like, oh, Iran's going to charge Bitcoin for the passage through the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, the Iran conflict's actually good for Bitcoin because the Iranian currency is going to zero, so people are flocking to Bitcoin, right? This is terrible. This war is terrible. It's going to cause Bitcoin to drop. We're going into World War III. All these narratives at the top and bottom. But here, for the first time, at the top, we have negative news, and the negative news is the ceasefire isn't going to uphold. Iran's not doing their part or whatever. The U.S. or Israel, they're gonna strike back out, like whatever. There's all these different avenues of where people are thinking that the ceasefire won't last and that we're just going to be right back in the Iran conflict again, and that things are going to escalate. But that's the first time that we've heard that at the top area, and I feel like myself and others, just because I feel this way doesn't mean that it has to happen, but I feel like in the market a lot of us are waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I'm not waiting for the other shoe to drop as far as the news goes. I think that the ceasefire lasts. I think they're going to get a regime change, and I think this might go smoother than expected, but we have to wait and see. We have to we have to wait. Let's wait and see how this develops. Let's wait and see how things go in Islamabad with JD Vance and the Iranian leadership. Let's just see. If JD doesn't come back because the Iranian leadership pulls some crazy stuff and they like destroy the area that they're meeting, and everybody dies, well then yeah, we're probably going to see the market tank because things are going to escalate. But even then, I don't know if we're going to see the market tank below these levels here. I think that we might just see a little bit of a pullback. No offense to JD. Just my thoughts here are, this is the first time that I've heard people at the top expecting negative news to escalate the situation there. Normally that happens at the bottom. We go into the 1 hour time frame, and maybe I'm in my own echo chambers, but that's just my perspective. I try not to be in an echo chamber, but we're all, especially this day and age, it's hard to get away from your own echo chambers. 1 hour RSI, going from getting overbought to rejecting the overbought zone, that's normally a bad thing. That is normally not a good thing, you guys. And that's why here we were bearish. But we took this bad situation. We actually started showing more strength. We got back into the overbought zone. A little bit of a double top, but nonetheless still holding higher lows. And we're actually at a point right now where we might expect to bounce based off of all this. You've got technically here, 14 minutes left in this 1 hour time frame, technically a higher low on a closing basis while providing lower lows on your RSI. That's hidden bullish divergence. And again, we're just at this area where we found support anyways. Stochastics are a bit odd, but I mean, we can come back up to the overbought zone, right? It's kind of odd, but we're moving sideways, so that's fair. The MACD, it's not bullish divergence if we close below that low, but or it's not bullish divergence if we close above it, but it is if we close below it. So there's a little setup there. And even if we do close below this low and that hidden bullish divergence goes away on the RSI, we're still at an area to find support. It doesn't matter necessarily too much. What I think we're doing right now is we're closing at prior areas of resistance, an area that we should have come down from, right? We should have come down. The reason why I think we should have come down, if we look at this on the 4-hour RSI, we did something that really is statistically improbable. Okay, this clear as day. It's there's no arguing. This is a lower high, and this here is a higher high, and this is bearish divergence. Typically, very typically, I mean with like a 90+% certainty, when you see something like that, you go back to where the divergence formed. Come on now. Yeah, there you go, right there. You go back there and even below there. You don't have to. It's not the requirement, but it's so common that that's just kind of the default thought. And it rarely leads you astray. Rarely does it lead you astray. We're in a rare situation. We not only formed a lower high here, but another lower high here. We had double bearish divergence. We had a higher high and another higher high. Double bearish divergence. We should have dropped here. We should have dropped here at least down to 70K and maybe even a little bit lower. It's very common not to just go back to this line where the divergence started between these 2 points, not just to this area, but through it. And then we had double bearish divergence. And guess what? We still, and with this divergence between these 2 points, we did come back a little bit. That kind of got fulfilled. But then we did something that, again, this just adds to the rarity. We started seeing higher highs, and we've got higher lows now. And we're getting consistently in and out of the overbought zone. You guys, this is bullish. You took a bearish situation, you erased it. There's no more bearish divergence. If you're still waiting on this, you're behind the times. We've got no more bearish divergence. It's gone. We have higher highs with the price, higher highs with the RSI. And now what we're actually doing is we're finding support at the areas that we were finding resistance before. That's what we're doing. We're upholding this. We're not just pumping and then dumping. Something's going on here, man. Show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. We're going to get some good news either over the weekend, like today, tomorrow, or over this next week. Probably over this next week. I'm assuming the talks in Islamabad are going to go well. They're going to go very well. And the MACD, man, the MACD is very inconsistent here. We're getting false cross after false cross after false cross, but now we're also getting false green crosses too. So it's a little bit concerning, but overall, I mean, the MACD, we've got a lot more room to go. We can definitely run. It'd be nicer if these oscillators came down and we were a little bit more cooled off, but whatever. Maybe we do that over the weekend. Maybe over the next 2 days we kind of do cool off. Perhaps from here we do pull back and we come down a little bit lower. Maybe all of this happens inevitably, but that's not really that big of a drop. Talking about 72.7K down to 70K. That's really not that big of a drop. But I'm hesitant now to keep running with this idea that we do go down here. It's very rare to do what we've done there. It doesn't happen too often. Daily time frame. Looking at this here. Actually, maybe on the 4-hour as well. Just noting the volume too. The volume did increase as we moved up. Just further substantiating this move, this claim that we are potentially moving higher. No, that's not what I meant to do. Then we look at this from our relative high on the 17th of March to the relative low here. We pushed through the golden ratio, came back down, and now we're closing back above the golden ratio zone on a daily basis, guys. This is bullish. It's not bearish. And typically in these situations, you do expect to go somewhere between the 786 and the 886. Now, we've already interacted with that, but looking at the short-term stuff, I do assume we're going to continue to move higher. Do we even look at the stochastics on the 4-hour? I mean, they just look bullish. Whatever. And it's completely acceptable from here at this point with how we're reacting with the fibs to go to our 1272, even to the 1618 target area. Now, I personally don't believe we're going to get above this low. I personally don't believe that's going to happen. But the fibs, the statistics, this is what the idea is right here. And we very well could find resistance right here at 79.3K. That is a point where we found resistance before. That might be exactly what we do. I wouldn't be surprised if from here we found a little bit of resistance somewhere around 75K, somewhere right around this high. everybody's expecting a higher high to come, and then we sell off. And we prolong this experience before we get above this high and up to this 79K area. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened inevitably, but I'm not necessarily expecting that it happens here. But this is just all the stuff that's laid out right now. If we're looking at this on the RSI on the daily time frame, we're definitely in a neutral but bullish kind of posturing, right? Not getting below the 40. We are staying above the 60, and that's nice to see. We need to get overbought, though. We need to get overbought if we want to be bullish. Stochastics are bullish. The MACD here, rejecting the 0, and now crossing back up above the 0, you guys. This is a bullish look as well. This is a very bullish look. And the MACD, the histogram looks like this is like the topping area, but we can definitely go a little bit higher. We've seen higher readings in the daily histogram before, significantly higher readings than we're at now. We can do it again here. Absolutely. These are not just reserved for bull market behavior. I mean, if we see a relatively strong move in a bear market, you don't need much price action to the upside to get those same readings. But anyways, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter too much. Up, down, whatever. We're just in this range. We're going to be in this range likely until May or June, and then we'll break out. And I don't assume that whenever we hit the high of this range, first off, I don't assume this is the high of the range. I think that we do have higher to go, whether that's now, whether that's later, whatever the case may be, whether it's just below this area or it's a little bit higher than what I'm giving it credit for, whatever the case may be. Once we find the high, I don't expect that we're just going to plummet like this. I actually expect that what we're going to see is a kind of methodical approach that will bore people, and then we will drop. And so with that thought, it might be July that we're breaking out of this range. It could be as late as July, but I do expect we'll break out of this range to the downside, and that we will find our bear market low sometime, I'm thinking in August. It could be July. It might be September. Sometime in Q3 is what I'm thinking. But I don't really have anything else to say. I feel like I'm saying the same old stuff now. We do have bullish divergence on the weekly MACD. No bullish divergence here on the RSI, but still, things look good. They're shaped up. I mean, bouncing off that oversold zone and moving up like this, we look pretty good here. Stochastics look good. I see no reason why we can't move up somewhere around this area, find resistance here at prior areas of support, and then move down inevitably. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.